Hi, I'm going to take a video for a second or two. I'm just laughing at myself because I look pretty out there. But that's okay. You know, sometimes I like how I look better that way than I do the other way. So, this was after sleeping in a weirded out hairdo. I was going to see if I could take a little movie of my little girl dog there, but she don't. She went inside. So I guess not. It's kind of hazy out there. I want to see a fire somewhere. I mean, I don't see smoke, but it looks like a layer of smoke out there. So imagine if I looked real hard, I'd find a fire close by. Anyway, that's not cool. That's what happens this time of year, huh? Okay, so I probably won't use any of this because I don't look my best, but oh, happy day. You know what? I don't know why I sang that so far. Just listen to the rest of the words. Oh, happy day when Jesus washed my sins away. Isn't that a trip? I wonder if someone sent me that message. You know, that's what being baptized is doing. When you come into the church, not being born into the church and raised in the church and stuff, you know, getting baptized at 8 is cool because you're becoming a member of the family, a member of the church, okay? A member of record. You're kind of a member of record, I bet, when you're born, because there is a blessing. You're given your name and a blessing and stuff, so surely that is a matter of record. But being a conscious, accountable person joining the church, you become a member of the church. But when you are baptized, it washes all of your sins away, okay? I mean, what a wonderful, wonderful feeling that could be. If you are, it says your sins could be as red as scarlet and become white as snow. To start over, to have a clean slate. How wonderful a gift that is too, people. You know, because when you're 8 years old, you don't have sins. You're joining the church, and you're getting the gift of the Holy Ghost that comes with it. First you're baptized, and then you have hands of those in authority laid upon your head, and you're given the gift of the Holy Ghost. Wonderful, wonderful gift, okay? Because that's having the Spirit of the Lord with you. Maybe not all the time like me. I mean, I was told it's going to be with me always. And I know it has been. But it's probably not always the case for everybody, okay? I wouldn't push it to the limits, for sure. And I wasn't pushing it to the limits, but I saw the results. And after years and years and years have gone by, and I look and I read my patriarchal blessing, oh my goodness. I never thought about that, the power, okay? It says it right there in I will have the gift and the power of the Holy Ghost. Not to yield and wield, or I don't know what the word would be, you know, you can't use it in a bad way, okay? It's not like those sons of thunder. That's what he called them, the sons of thunder. Because he gave them the power, and what did they want to do? They wanted to draw it down from heaven and strike somebody with it. No, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. Anyway, if anybody's going to do that, it'll be God, not this guy over here. But they were amongst, during the time frame there, what it's showing in the Chosen is there is a lot of, you know, I don't even know the word, but I mean, we should know the word because it's a big deal now. Prejudice, okay? There's a lot of prejudice and judging going on, and sometimes the judgments are just stupid. Something that happened years and years and years ago to somebody's grandpa or something, you know, it has nothing to do with you. But nevertheless, it's like, the Samaritans, I guess they didn't like the Samaritans, and the Samaritans probably didn't like the Jews, and the Greeks and the Romans and everybody. There was a lot of prejudicial crap going on. There's this one episode that just really puts it out there so good, and I don't know which episode it is. But there was a bunch of crap going on between all these different races, and they were giving Jesus crap too. And then a guy runs up, and he doesn't run up, excuse me. He lamps up, and he's on a crutch. And then everybody starts to smell this foul odor. It's like, ah. And he said he had a broken leg that got gangrene in it. He can't help it. It stinks really bad. But anyway, Jesus healed him. Now, see, before he healed him, all these people were fighting back and forth about their different races and what they do, and you'll have to watch it. But the point is, they were all kind of fighting back and forth with their mouths, okay? And giving Jesus crap. And Jesus said to his followers that were with him, because I don't know if he had 12 by this time or not, but anyway, he said, let's sit down, because we're not going to go any further until this is taken care of, So the apostles are going, are you sure? Anyway, he said, just sit down. And so they all sat down. Just him and his followers, okay? But everybody else is still up in arms with each other and stuff. I do look pretty haggard. So let's don't get off the subject. Anyway, so this guy comes up, and everybody's going, oh my God, And then Jesus heals him. And so his leg's not broken anymore. The stench has probably gone away too. And he undid the bandage, and he's like, wow, he was pouncing on his foot, I think. Anyway, he told Jesus he hadn't run in a long time. And Jesus said, go. So he ran away. But as he ran away, he broke his crutch in half on his knee, and then he ran away through the crowd, okay? So the next thing you know, all these people who've been really griping about Jesus and these different problems with each race and stuff, and he turns around, and next thing you know, everybody in the crowd has decided to sit down. They're going to listen to Jesus talk. But anyway, I don't know why I told you that, but it was pretty cool. There was a reason for it. You probably know what it is, and all I can see is his hair. I just decided I didn't care, okay? I had a little bit of an altercation a little bit ago with my Papa Bear. I swear to God. And I shouldn't do that either, I know. But it is very hard to control one's temper when someone's being stupid. Then I say things, and I can't help myself but say certain things, and I just kind of blew up at my dad. I told him, you know what, after my appointment on Monday, I'm out of here. You won't have to worry about me anymore. He can't take the things I say. There's a cleaning lady coming. She's not really a cleaning lady, okay? She is his caregiver, but part of her job is cleaning. She does the floors and the dishes and the laundry for him, only for him. So when I was here before, I just said, you know what? I got laundry to do with yours, and I can just do it. And then I ended up doing the laundry and the dishes and the floor. And that's okay. So for like, Dad has this German Shepherd now, okay? Miss Daphne, she's a beautiful girl. And the other girl also sheds, and it's summertime, okay? It's hot. And then they go in and they shed because of the air conditioner or whatever. But the point is, so she's coming today. So what does he have me do? He's all worried about the hair on the floor. So he has me sweep and get all the dog hair off the floor. And then he has someone else clean some dishes that's in the sink, because I refuse to clean someone else's dishes that are crusty. I believe in rinsing dishes out and stacking them. Or you can go ahead and put them in the dishwasher if there's not something already in there. But I put all the dishes away after she left last time. So the point is, if everybody would pitch in and do their own, you know, you rinse what you use and stick it in the dishwasher. I always rinse everything out and at least stack it so there's no crusty crap. I refuse that. I refuse that. I'm not going to do that. So anyway, so Dad went and got Austin to take care of that. But I just told him, I said, why she can do other things for him. She does not have to do those particular things. She can go grocery shopping for him, go pick up his medicine, which we don't, I've got it down to where he only has to pick up one. Before he was picking up a ton and paying a bunch for them. It's amazing. You guys really need to check out your insurance and stuff because, or, you know, especially if you're on Medicare, different plans. I just, suffice it to say, I've saved a ton of money that he was paying, and also trips to the pharmacy to pick up stuff and then pay co-pays for that stuff. He doesn't have to do that anymore. He only has to pay, I think, for a couple of his medications, and those are pain meds, and the stupid doctors won't release that. It really makes me angry, and I got to talk to the right people about that. Here you have an 87-year-old man, can't hardly walk, okay? And what does the pain guy tell me when I'm telling him I don't understand why my dad has to go in there every single month? He's not getting better. And after I found out, when I changed his stuff up and his medicines, we got Optum RX. They'll ship it to you, okay? And with this Advantage plan, Dad had to pay $19, but all of his co-pays, except for on, like, I think a couple of medicines are paid. Plus they're shipped to the house. He doesn't have to go and pick them up. No co-pays on most everything. I mean, it's the morphine, he has to pay a co-pay. And maybe, I don't even think Gabby Patton is one. There's something else that he might have to. There was some type of a cream that, a healing ointment type thing. Not mine, which is very expensive. But anyway, I'm sorry. The point is, he's doing so much better than he was before. Like hundreds and hundreds of dollars better, guys. He was paying for an extra insurance that he didn't need. He was paying $300 a month to, I don't know if it was AARP that was doing it. It was a supplemental. So whatever his insurance didn't pay, like if he had a major stay in the hospital or something, then they would kick in and pay. But they were charging him $300 a month. That's on top of what he was paying to Social Security. Because, you know, when you're on Social Security and you're on Medicare, they automatically take $170 a month out of your check. You don't even see it, okay? So here's Dad paying $170, and then on top of that, another $300, and then on top of that, he was going and paying co-pays on every medicine. Plus he had to drive there and back each time. And I got off the track. I got mad at that doctor. I'm going, I can't believe these people, and the law needs to change. Dad is 87, he can't hardly walk. He ain't getting better, okay? And then when I found out with Optum, they would have mailed him his stuff if the doctor, the pain doctor, would have given him the prescription and released it. You know, it's not like he's a drug addict. And then the other thing I found out is he is on the bare minimum. He is on the bare minimum of what he could be getting morphine-wise. You know, so here's the man, he's probably suffering and thinking that he's okay because they're saying, you're going to be an addict. We don't want you to be an addict. Well, you know what? At that age, I think you should just be comfortable. Quit worrying about that. Once a year, maybe, okay? And then just have it where he can have it once a month so that his pills don't disappear. If his pills don't disappear and he makes it till the next month, you know, each month, why does he have to go in and pee in a bottle? 87-year-old man has to go into an office with all kinds of people. Some of them drug addicts, and some of them, you know, and our injuries tend to make them drug addicts after a while, you know, because they're hurting. But the point is, he's not, that law should change. He should not have to go in and be with the rest of them people, wait in line to go into one bathroom that's there to pee in a bottle when he can't hardly walk, okay? He's got to use a walker to get in there. I've been taking him, you know, for the last little while, and I did talk to that doctor, and I told him what I thought, because, you know what he had to say about that? He said if he can't drive in here to have his appointment, then he just needs to be in a rest home. I said, no, that's not how that works. You know, people can take care of you. They can take you to the appointment, but what a ridiculous pain in the butt. Why? It's not like he's freaking a drug addict out on the street or a drug addict in your house, because there's functioning drug addicts everywhere. But damn, 87 years old, I saw his x-ray. He's got on his knee bone on bone. I don't know how the heck he's walking in the first place. He ain't walking very good. And he's a diabetic. And he can't feel his feet. I mean, all these different things. What a stupid thing for that man to say. You know? Like, oh yeah, just because you can't or you shouldn't have to come in to do that, you belong in a rest home? Stinking thinking. There's a lot of stinking thinking in this world. You know, that's a doctor for you. He gets $45 every month with Dad's insurance. His copay is $45 for a specialist, okay? So this man don't have to see Dad every month. He doesn't have to get $45 out of Dad's pay every month to say, yeah, you're in pain. Yeah, you still need your medicine. The only thing that would happen, that should happen, is if his pain gets unbearable, then yes, he should go in and see the doctor and have that reassessed. But if his medicine is working enough that he can stand it, why should he have to go in every month? And even have to get in a car, drive there, stumble in, wait in line to get in a bathroom with a bunch of weirdos so he can go see the doctor and have his levels tested on his drugs that's in his system. He has to bring his pills with him, whatever's left, and he has to have a level done. They do a level of his, he does a urine test, I guess that would be the level, I'm not sure. I don't think they draw blood. But I'm sorry, I just think it's bullshit. And it is ridiculous. And it is a way of gouging people. Old people especially, you know. They're not getting better. They're just going to get worse. And if they're managing on what they're given, let it be. Quit fucking taking $45 a month out of their pay. Their measly little teeny bit of pay. And that's one specialist. You know what? Dad's got a bunch of specialists. Hopefully, he doesn't have to see him all the time. He sees a dermatologist. Now, they want to see him more. And he won't allow it because it's $45 to go to the dermatologist. See, these are the things, okay? Before he paid $300 a month, and then anything and everything he did, he didn't have to pay for. But if you only see one specialist a month, or every 3 months, or whatever, then that's only $45 spread out over those 3 months, instead of $300 freaking dollars a month. Plus all the co-pays he was paying on his drugs. Anyway, I do get excited, and I do want someone to do something about that. And I know it's not the doctor, but it is the doctor, because I bet you they're all a group. They all support each other, you know, this big pharma crap, too. I know, I'm a bad girl. I mean, I like my drugs when I'm in pain, and I like what the doctors can do to save your life, but there are some problems here, you know? They don't have to take it from everybody. You know how many millions of people there are? And it's big business. The medical field is so big. And yeah, it's really great, but some of it's crap. Some of it really is wasting money. I got so many things to say about all that stuff. And I've already talked too long, so I probably should get off of here. But one of them is, you know, I talked to my dad when I first got here. You know, people don't understand what I'm trying to say, but they have taught me all my life. And they are big, big believers. I mean, he's reading his scriptures all the time. So I'm thinking to myself, if you believe what you've had me be taught and what I've read, and I believe it, why, when it's time to die, are you clinging to life? Clinging to life with everything you got, when your wife is just on the other side of that veil. The veil that separates us, this realm, from the spirit world. Our loved ones are all around us. Okay? But here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and say it in this video because I'll never get back to it. Really, I don't think God wants us to suffer. Okay? My dad made a statement one day. He made a statement, if the Lord wanted him to suffer, he would. Okay? I'm going, no, that is not how that goes. He doesn't want you to suffer. Okay? Enduring to the end. That's the statement everybody gets stuck on, okay? You must endure to the end. Okay? What does that mean? What that really means is hold on to the Word of God until the end. It doesn't mean fight tooth and nail to stay here, okay? When it's your time to go, be grateful. Go. If your wife is here and you don't want to leave her and your children and stuff, there's different circumstances, okay? But when you're old, by God, if it's time to go, why the hell are you going to stay here? This is hell. I'd be getting into heaven. And God is not going to be punishing you or feeling bad about anything if you are if you stop taking your drugs, if you stop taking the medicines that's keeping you alive and you die. That is not suicide, people. You have been prolonging your death. And that's something that's going on around here that people aren't really thinking about, you know. I mentioned the comings and goings, being born and then dying, okay? So what we got going on around here is all these people that are supposed to be dying, we're keeping them alive. I know you're going to have bad feelings about what I'm saying, but you need to think about it, okay? You came here for a reason. You came here to live your life, to learn, take lessons. But you didn't come here to suffer needlessly. When it's time to go, it's time to go. You know, that's what I don't understand. Dad don't want to go nowhere, but yet his wife is just right there. And his mother, and his brother who just died. When you get to Dad's age, a lot of your friends are already gone. But guess what? They're not laying in that ground dead. They're on the other side, waiting for you. They're doing stuff. They're not just waiting for you. But you know what? If you pass through the veil, it's a beautiful place. Even spirit prison is going to be a beautiful place. And in spirit prison, you're going to be taught. You're going to be given the chance to be taught when you didn't have the chance before. Plus, here's something else, people. When we leave here, when we've had our life here, right now, we don't know who we were. When you leave here, you'll have that memory. You'll know who you were and who you were here. Yeah, rude awakening. Rude awakening. Hopefully a great awakening for a lot. But you know, seriously, think about the possibilities, people. Really. But I was amazed at my dad saying if God wanted him to suffer, and there is no way that God wants us to suffer. I mean, we're going to suffer because this life is hell, and we're here to gain. But to suffer in the end, I don't think so. I really don't. I think we're misled. Pharmaceuticals, they're trying to keep us alive because they are gaining all this money. I mean, you're going to die of something. And they're going to, every time you get a disease, they're going to try and bring you back. And that's okay, if that's what you want. If there's things to be here for. But I'm of a mind to say, hey, I mean, I just was diagnosed with cancer, and I could not fathom, this was last year, okay? And I think I'm doing good. And there's a big old story to go with that. I'm going to forget what I'm starting with, but the point is, You get a new lease on life when you find out you ain't got much time left. And also, I think part of what I was going to say is, God, there's so much. I know I'm skipping around here. I'm going to tell you what my surgeon said to me. Part of what he said to me, because he said different things, but you know, I was fighting tooth and nail for my own self, okay? I don't believe in... Okay, I better change that, because I do believe in chemotherapy to a point, okay? There's a way to do it better than they do. There's a way to do a lot of things better than they do, okay? But I chose to talk to my stake president. I told him my concerns. I asked for a special blessing. He arranged to give me a blessing. Him and another guy met me at the church building before I had to go in, before he went to work, and before I had to go in and talk to the oncologist. I just really needed some extra inspiration to know what to do, okay? And I was so glad, and he told me, and my blessing, okay? My blessing was quite long. I'm talking too silent now. It was really a long blessing, and there were times when he just didn't say anything, okay? He listened. He was listening to the Spirit, and he was finding out a hell of a lot about me, let me tell you. Meaning God was letting him know about me. And, but anyway, one of the things he said, oh, he said so much. He said, I'm going to scatter. He told me I demonstrated my faith because I asked for the blessing. And he told me I was calling on the powers of heaven to help me, and I was. And he told me I could be healed. He said, and you will be whole. And then he said, I'm not talking about physical. I mean, I think I'd already had my right breast removed, okay? And I had already told him all that. But he said, I'm saying that you are going to come to the realization of exactly who you are. Let me tell you what. That began a big old journey of things. Oh my God, things don't happen right off the bat, you know. And like I said in a different paper, I wasn't asking to be healed. I just wanted to know what to do, okay? Tell me what I should do. And I took all things into consideration as in, okay, my age. I was 68 then. And I just know that I don't want to spend the last part of my life in pain and suffering and sick. And I was feeling great. But you put that crap in you, you ain't going to feel great. And then, so I'll get back to that. I got to get back to that. Okay, so this was the other thing he said. Those therapies at the hospital sometimes will backfire on you. To be very careful. I mean, so I was wise to be careful, okay? It's like you do the chemotherapy. I've been reading different things. But anyway, I have so many things I want to say. It's like, the first thing I wanted to say was the fact that, okay, you use the chemotherapy, that's like a poison, okay? And you're not only poisoning the cancer, but you're poisoning yourself. You're killing yourself. And the doctor agreed with me. I'm totally correct. You are taking in this stuff that's gonna frickin' kill you, to kill the cancer. And then they hope to bring you back at the last minute before you die too. Okay, that's one thing. And then the second thing is, I read another thing where, you know, these rounds of chemotherapy, a lot of people don't make it through the first round. And then there's the second round. A lot more people don't make it through that one. And then another thing is, they consider you to be a cancer survivor if you make it 5 years, okay? You could die at 5.5 years, but they still consider you a cancer survivor. Anyway, taking all things into consideration, when I went and talked to the oncologist, you know, he was telling me the only way I'm going to live is to do that. And I told him I just couldn't do it. I says, you mean to tell me that something that if it touches my skin is going to burn me, you want to put it inside my body and run it through my bloodstream and through my whole body and my organs, and you want to burn the crap out of me inside? I couldn't do that. No way. But anyway, he was saying that they put it down deep in your bloodstream to where it doesn't burn like that. I'm sorry, people. And I started out going to what my surgeon said. This was the oncologist. He was telling me the only other recourse is to die. And he kept pointing up above. And I'm going, you know, if I don't do something, I'm going to go up there. Well, you know what? That's not a bad place to go. If you think about it, and if you believe like that, and like I've said before, if you live long enough, you're going to die of something, unless Jesus comes first. But that's just a reiteration. I'll get off of that. What my surgeon said was, and this was after a lot of different things, because after, oh my God, I talked to him right after I had that experience where I was on fire. If you didn't hear that video, and I'm not sure which video that is, I know which one it was. It's the one that I think it was done on the 21st, July 21st, not very long ago. But I go from one thought to another, to another, to another, and during that particular video, it says I'm sharing my thoughts, I think is what it says. I told of that experience, okay? Oh my God. So, I'm going to go back to the surgeon, okay? So this had just happened, and I'm in the surgeon's office, and I'm talking to him, and I told him what happened and how I felt about being healed. Anyway, one of the things he had said to me, and I think it was during that session, was that he liked what he saw, that I've got, you know, I'm fighting for myself. He says, so many people, they come in here and they get the diagnosis of cancer. And he says, and then they become the diagnosis. He said, they listen to what we say. They don't argue with us. They take the medicine, they do what we say, and eventually they die. That is what he said, okay? Because they become the disease. They become what they're told. And they don't fight. They just become depressed. They feel like they're going to die. So, you know, what you tell yourself happens sometimes. If you think you're going to die, you probably will. Anyway, it's a point that you need to think about. All you people out there, if you get a hold of my stuff, and I should put a hashtag. I need to do that. Hashtags. I have not been hashtagging my stuff. You guys, if you see my stuff and you think it's really groovy grapes, please share it. And explain to them, okay, how far in did I go before I started talking about that? So you can fast forward if it's... I'm going to figure out how to edit. And I'm going to figure out how to take little sections out and put it in there, because there's so much good stuff. And it's diverse. It's all over the place. That's who I am. Okay? But the point is, back to the cancer. Yeah. 1 minute he's telling me he likes what he sees, and another minute he's telling me he would have done just what I did, and another minute he's telling me I'm a pain in the butt. Because nobody fights with them. But you know what? I went and I saw a naturopath, okay? And I did it on, I am getting so gray, my God. Anyway, the naturopath, okay? First, you have to realize that I'm on a very, very, very low fixed income. And so for me to spend money to go to a naturopath, I don't like that. It means it took my whole month's salary just to have my consultation with my naturopath, okay? And I'm exaggerating a little bit. It was $460, and I was getting $528. I'm now getting $627. Wow, you can really live on that, right? You think that. Think about that. I'm very good with money, but you can only go so far. I'm good with God, and He helps me a lot. And I believe in food storage, and I always stored up food. And there's one thing about my property out there, it has a well. So I have water, and I will say like God, or Jesus, living water, okay? Because you can't live without water. So if something major happened in the end, I got water. And if I got food stored up, I got food and water. And you know what? That works for dehydrated stuff because you got to have water for that. So if you're in the city, I mean, that's a lot of water you got to try and figure out how to store. A well is the way to go. Okay, so I got all stretched out of whack, but I think I got my point across. There was more points. Okay, the naturopath. Oh my God. We spent 2.5 hours. My appointment was 2.5 hours. And she covered a lot of stuff. I mean, I probably answered a whole lot of questions before the appointment. But she had me get my medical records. And so I got my medical records, and then I go about everything the hard way. I took pictures of every one of them, and then I emailed them to her, or texted them to her, or something. It was a text. So she went over my medical records, and she saw things, and she told me things. Like the regular medical field. Okay, let me tell you about her. She was a doctor, a certified oncologist, and a naturopath, okay? She was not just a naturopath. In fact, my girlfriend talked to her naturopath who referred me to this other lady, okay, because she's a specialist. She's an oncologist. She wasn't just a naturopath. Now, when I told my doctors, the oncologist there, and he did not put any value in her at all. And I asked him 3 times why he did not do something. Okay, and they did have a switch. My cancer doctor moved to a different place, so I got a new cancer doctor. And so there was a test that was recommended. In my pathology reports, they recommended a test be done. And they didn't do it. And my naturopath caught it. She says, I see where they recommended this test, but I don't ever see any results of that test. And then so I asked the doctor about it, and he wasn't going to do it. He says, we never do that. With as big as your tumor was and this and that and the other thing, we don't do that. Even though it was recommended, okay? So I asked him why he wouldn't do that test. He wasn't going to ask for that test, and I needed that test. And my naturopath said that they can even do it because they take that tumor and they put it in formaldehyde or something, but they can do a test later if they didn't do it to begin with. So I had to force the issue, okay? I asked him 3 times, and he repeated himself basically, and I said, you know what? It boils down to, you do not want the liability. And he says, you're damn right, okay? That's exactly what it is. He says, I don't even know who I'd give that test to. The results? I said, you'd give it to me. I'm the one asking for it. And if not, you would give it to my naturopath who is asking for it. But see, she was in Washington and they were in Colorado. And so she didn't have a license in Colorado. And so finally, after badgering with him, he said, well, maybe you can get your surgeon to do it. Because he was my doctor. And he was the one that pulled it out. And he was the one that really should have had the pathology done. The test done. It's a, I don't know if I can say it, Onco 1. What it is a test of your tumor the tissue, and it tells, not just the tissue, because it also has to do with how many lymph nodes were cancerous and different things. So it tells what the possibilities are of reoccurrence of your type of cancer, okay? You know what my score came back? I mean, I got it. I had to get my surgeon to do it, and he wasn't going to do it until I told him that the cancer doctor said maybe I could get him to do it. And he says, well, if he said I could do it, maybe I'll try it, you know. So he did. Anyway, they were not going to do that, and I bet I could sue their little butts. But I haven't. I didn't need to lose my breast either. He told me that my nipple was involved, and it wasn't, okay? He examined me with me laying down, so he had no idea really where everything was. I had taken a picture. I had taken a picture of that lump in my breast, and I could see it was way away. So I didn't fight for myself enough, because I really should have went to a specialist in Denver instead of letting a general surgeon take care of me. Now, a general surgeon, he was very good, very, very good. But a specialist, no, he's not. Then when he gave me the results of my test, it was weird. Because it was like they really didn't want me to know. But he said to me, he said, out of all the cancers you could have, you have the best one. Not that any cancer is good, but meaning that I had a slow-growing cancer. And I didn't have very many bad lymph nodes, but he said I also didn't have as many lymph nodes as other people do. We went in and did oh, there's so much to this thing, I'm sorry. Because all they did was a PET scan in the beginning. No, they did a C-scan, okay? They did a C-scan. Well, that, according to my natural, I thought it was great. You know, it came back beautiful, no tumors and stuff like that, because it's supposed to show you if there's any tumors throughout your body. Okay, well, my naturopath said, she said, yeah, it only goes down to the size of a grain of rice, okay? She says, you need to have a PET scan, because that'll go way deep and tell you more. Okay, so I had to ask for that. They didn't offer it. I asked for it, you know. And again, my cancer doctor was saying, well, he says, well, if you want that, we can order that, you know. But why didn't they offer it? Why didn't they think about it? But that's not the point, okay. So my test scores came back. Guess what? Chance of reoccurrence of your cancer. There were 3 different scores, okay? The very first one was a big fat 0. 0 chance of reoccurrence of my cancer. Okay, then the next score was what percentage of a chance of reoccurrence is there in 9 years? My score was 9%. That leaves 91%. The odds were with me, baby. So then the third one, guess what it said? That third test was, would there be a benefit of having chemotherapy? No. No apparent benefit for me because of my scores on that test. Okay? Now, he would have had me in there having chemotherapy. I can't even remember how many weeks. It might have been 7 weeks of chemotherapy and 4 weeks of radiation, or vice versa. It might have been 4 weeks of chemotherapy, or not 4 weeks, but 4 rounds. There's a difference there too. Okay? But I would have been in there doing all that crap to myself. And then that test, for what? You know, when you're 68 years old, I'm thinking, okay, how many years really do I have left? And do I want to spend them in misery? No, I don't. And I know that when I die, it's going to be a party on the other side. Hopefully you guys will have a party on this side. But, you know, transition, I'm going to heaven. I'm going back to Jesus and my Father in heaven and my mother in heaven and my memories. No, I don't want to die. No, I am not going to make myself die. I'm not going to commit suicide. But you know what? God didn't tell us we had to take drugs to stay alive, okay? This is this society. This society wants you to live as long as you can, so you can have as many diseases as you can, so you can have as many surgeries and medicines and pills, all kinds of crap that we don't need to be doing. And that's where I started to begin with. We wouldn't have a population explosion probably if we let people die. Now, please don't take that mean, because I don't mean it mean. I mean, when it is time to go, go. Heaven is there. You don't got to stay down here in this hell. And who's going to take care of you? And you're going to end up in a damn nursing home. So someone can just put you over to the side and not take care of you. You know, really think about it. I would rather die. That does not mean I'm going to commit suicide, because I know that my life has a purpose. And as long as I'm supposed to be here, I'll be here. And yeah, I don't want to die. And if there's certain medications, you know, that'll linger my life around, and if I got a lot to live for, then I want to go for that. But, you know, Mom and Dad, oh my God, they had to used to drive to Mexico to try to afford the drugs that they had to take. Okay, I went with them once. Got a pair of glasses down there, my first pair of bifocals. Then I couldn't wear them because they made me dizzy. But that was beside the point. The point is the drugs, the amount of drugs that they have you taking. And as you get older, they'll give you one drug and then they give you another one to battle the side effects. And then, you know what? You listen to the TV. You know, especially in a home where they know your age, all the ads are for Medicare. All the ads are for medicine, drugs. And they will have this little jingle going on, this nice little jingle, sounds all pretty and stuff, and they'll tell you what the drug will do for you. And then there's like 30 side effects that they list. One of them being may cause death. Does that make sense to you? And they do it with a jingle. Oh, let's just sing this song and let's just buy this medicine and let's just kill ourselves. And then they also, it's not just one drug. You have one drug that has these side effects, and so they give you different drugs to fight those side effects. And then you probably need other drugs to fight the side effects that those drugs cause. It's bullshit. People, really. And here's the thing I was trying to say, and they've even said it in the church recently. You don't need to cling to life. I mean, really, do you? So I just don't understand. So my dad thinks I want to let him go. I think that's why he won't let me be on anything. I was trying to tell him, and I'm going to tell you people too. Okay, I got to do it fast before I'm at an hour. When you are old and you need help and you have a house that's yours, they're not going to give you any help. I bought a house at an auction once, and it was because those people were going into a nursing home. And they had to sell every damn thing they had, okay? Everything that they had in their name, and give that money to the nursing home before they could go to that nursing home. And then they had to sign over their check, so every month their check went into the nursing home. But they had to get rid of everything in order to get help, okay? So here's my solution, you people. And I wish my dad would listen. And I even know how to do it. You don't have to have a damn lawyer. But you need to take the deed, like my dad's deed, okay? He needs to turn it into me, my brother, my sister, and I guess my adopted brother, if that's what he thinks. You know, the ones that he would leave the house to. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is get your name off the title. Get your name off the deed. You don't own it. And then, if you need help, you can get it. And you haven't lost your house to the vultures. Give it to your family. You know, unless you want to sell it. If you can sell it and keep and benefit from the money, but to sell it and give it to a nursing home. All they want to know is that you have nothing. You can't have a card, you can't have a house, you can't have nothing. So you just take the titles and put them in someone else's name. And I tried to tell Dad, I am trying to help him. I have been here trying to help him, but he does not necessarily believe that. I think he thinks that I would let him die. Now, I told him what I really want is for him to be able to stay in his house. Stay in your house until you die. You can have help come in. You don't have to go out. But if you do have to go into a facility, well, the insurance I've got him on right now is really good, and it'll pay. It'll pay most of it. So really, he's sitting pretty. However, if you have long-term care and you have really bad, because good and well, they're going to charge you up for that. Everything is ridiculous how much they charge. I went in and had surgery once upon a time, a gallbladder surgery, and they put this little foam thing under my neck to hold my head. Just a little foam thing. They charged $60 for that. And they charge for everything that you used while you were in the hospital. It wasn't just the hospital stay and everything else was included. I mean, oh my God, they're just crazy out there. And really, what they are is vultures. They're going to wait until you have to give them everything. Get on later on in life, and then you go in and you have to have open heart surgery, or you have to have this surgery or that surgery, and it's a massive amount of money. Well, guess what? If you're not smart, they'll come and take your house away for it. They want their money. So, I'm just saying, it's not against God's law to take your house and give it to your children. And I would do it with the specification that, no, you can't kick me out. And I know they can do that. There's a way to do that. Because I almost bought a house a couple years ago on an auction block, and that's what had happened. The deed had like 11 names on it, okay? Every single child's name was on it. And then nobody can sell it without everybody's signature. But there was one person that stayed there with him, and he got to stay there until he died, okay? And so then when he died, it wasn't hers. It was all of them on the deed, okay? And so then she I could see why she did that too. She was the one there taking care of everything. She took care of him. Nobody else was around. They were all living their lives everywhere, So she charged him for the amount of time that she spent there taking care of him. She put a lien on the house with that amount of money on it. Now, I don't know that she got it ever, but I was told that because I was asking, what is all this? Because when you go in and do an auction like that, you have to find out everything, because there's liens. There's liens on the property, and guess what? The one who buys it has to pay it. Anyway, they were a weird place. They had a massive water bill. They charged a water bill every single month that after that guy died, that nobody was living there, they still charged a bill. So they expected that bill paid. And I'm going, you know what? I have never heard of that in my life. All the places that I've owned and the water bill, you shut the damn water off, the bill stops, okay? They shut the water off, but that bill don't stop there because it's a little town and they need their revenue and they need to pay for the water system, and they're full of crap. There's just a bunch of people full of crap taking advantage of other people. So that's neither here nor there, and I think I better stop because, well, I'm at 54 minutes. I could talk a little longer. Make it to an hour. So I don't even remember where I started when I started this thing. I knew that I didn't look good. I came out here to walk around with the dog. I was upset with my dad. People. Like, to a point I don't blame him, but when you live your life in the church and you want to be good to everybody, and you want to be an example of God's love and stuff, and then you come home and you're just not necessarily the nicest person. You know, he wants to be nice. And I know when you get old, you ended up being like a kid and stuff, and he's made it known many times he's the king of his castle, okay? Well, I'm the queen of my castle, and I ain't been there in a long time. I'm not only the queen, I'm the king. I'm all things. That's how I feel about it, and I have been in someone else's space going on a year. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but come September, which is next month, September 24th would be a year that I left. So really, I was gone for a month, and so 2 months shy. By the time I'm here a year, it'll be 2 months shy. So I'll just say 10 months, okay? That's long enough, by God. I am used to being my own boss, and I'm used to being in control. And I don't like it, not being in control. And Dad don't like me trying to be in control. I mean, ever since I got here, all I've said is, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need this. And he don't want to hear it. But then he tells me later, you know, that he's glad I said it, because he did need it. And now he has it. And I think there's a lot of things he's not going to own up to, but I've helped him a lot. I know it. I feel good about that. But I don't feel good about how I'm treated sometimes. And I have a hard time keeping my mouth shut. And I mean, I'm respectful, but I also yell if I need to. Sometimes you can't get through their damn head unless you yell. Or you talk quiet. And that's if they want to hear you. I mean, then they're not going to try to hear you. And he can't hear. And you know what else? He's probably made me go deaf. I have been living in this house with this loud freaking noise. And now it doesn't seem so loud. And also I had my earbud in, one ear, when I was in Colorado, and Joe was talking, I couldn't hear him. So that's not a good thing. You know, just because this guy here, this is his house, okay? He can have that TV as loud as he wants. But if he wants someone else in the house, he needs to be respectful of that. And yeah, so I should lose my hearing because he's lost his. People, learn from me, because it's probably too late for me. I mean, I can still hear, but there's something wrong in my ears. I think I probably should. My naturopath told me to go get my ears tested. And it wasn't because I had complained about anything. She just said that it's real important to get your ears, because they atrophy. The frequencies that go inside your ear have to do with a lot of stuff, I guess, and they will atrophy if you can't hear, which means go away. Just like sitting around too much, you lose your muscle, and you can't hold yourself up. And I started to say earlier, Dad, oh my God, I saw his x-ray while they were doing it, because I was trying to stay away from the radiation, so I went way back in the room. Well, it ended up I was back in the room where I could see the film, because it was living x-ray. It wasn't like just click one. I could see that his knee is bone on bone. Oh my God. Pain. So yeah, you know, pain influences how we treat people too. And then being told what you think they need all the time, even though they do need it. They don't want that. I even spent my money, my credits that I was given, on medical stuff for him, which he didn't want to use. So how stupid was that? Anyway, I love him, and I want the best for him, but I'm not going to take crap. I'm not going to be here. I guess that's where nursing homes come in, because if they're going to treat the family that loves them that way, then they have to go somewhere else where those people don't care. Because I'm not putting up with it. I really am not. I've had enough in my life of bullshit. And at this time in my life, by God, I want to have something happy. A little happiness would be all right. And I don't like these flies, but I know it's my light. I shine, and they are attracted to the light. Even when you have all the lights turned off, they will find me. Anyway, like I've said before, I love you guys. I hope that you listened to my ramblings and that you enjoyed it. And I'm going to stop right there.